What is up, beautiful people? Back with another awesome video, and today we're going to be adding some livestock and talking about the 60-gallon saltwater tank, or as I call it, my reef tank. So the tank's been up and going about 2 months, maybe a little bit longer. Current inhabitants are a pair of clownfish, a small tang, and some hermit crabs, some blue legs and some red legs. So today we got us some live copepods. We're going to add that because it is kind of going through its ugly phase. Hopefully that'll kind of knock down the diatoms. And if it don't, they're really good to be in a tank anyways, live copepods. Also, we got 4 or 5 Naceria snails, some sand sifting snails, and 3 or 4 Trochus snails. Didn't go overboard on the snails because I'm not too confident that these big jerks called hermit crabs, I'm not too sure how they're going to do with them. I have had a few hermit crabs be unalived from their neighbors, getting into big brawls. Started out with 10 blue legs, 10 red legs, and I think we've lost a couple of each. So there is plenty of empty shells in there, but they are super jealous and just want their buddy's shell. So I'm going to spin the camera around right now. I think there's like 12 or 13 frags in there. And also, we did get another frag too that we will be dipping in this video and add in the copepods, add in the snails, and then doing kind of like a tank review. So, well, if you're new here, my name's Jeremiah, and welcome to Aquatics and Exotics. We love talking about anything fish tanks or anything exotic animals. Just a bunch of animal lovers here. So we'll get right into today's video. I'll flip you around and we'll start talking about what we got going on and start dumping in livestock. So here we go. Here's our tank. We got Terrence, aka Terry the Tang, our little Scopus Tang. Then we got our 2 black and white ocellaris. And like I said, a bunch of different frags and hermit crabs. But we've had our snails floating in our bags for about 15 minutes now, maybe 20. Before we put those in, let's just go over the frags that have been in here a while. So here we go. We got our chalice, Mycedium chalice. I believe it's called Raja Rampage. We've got our clove polyps, and it's sitting right outside our peppermint shrimp den here. I think they've been eating the clove polyps on the back. I'm not sure, but I think they have. Might need to move that out of there. Then right here in front, we got our nuclear wave Blastomusa merletti. And yeah, it's kind of spun around. This is kind of like the knot grown inside. It's going to go up here, kind of where that hermit crab is. And hopefully it'll grow up this side of the rocks. And then we got our Miami Madness Acan Enchilada right there. It's supposed to be like a orange and bluish and green. The greens and orange are coming out. Blue's not so much, but we're gonna give it some time. A couple hermit crabs right here. We've got several frags of Kenya trees, and I actually just got a whole bunch more from a buddy of mine. Chase, if you're watching this, what's up? Kenya tree. Then we got our mushrooms, Florida Recordia mushrooms right there. Here we have a fairly new, and I don't know is doing the greatest, Montipora digitata. Polyps are starting to come out. Back there we got some GSP glued to the back glass. Uh-oh, what's going on over here? We got some sort of a euphilia, either a torch hammer, I don't know, mystery euphilia I got from the local fish store. Some zoanthids back there. And then in front of it, we got our Duncans, but for some reason, they are not out at all right now. I have no idea what's going on with them. Could be that we had bags and stuff bumping on them and cups, but don't know. So hopefully those were just looking a lot nicer a couple days ago. So I'm going to go ahead, drain out some water. Let's get these snails in, the Naceria snails. They will, they're like sand sifting snails. They'll like bury in the sand and then they'll come out when it's feeding time. And the Trochus snails, they're one of the few snails that will actually self-right, meaning if they fall upside down, they can actually turn themselves right back over. That's why I got those two kinds, kind of hoping that they'll go good with the hermit crabs. So go ahead, set you right there. Let's see here, what do we got here? Here's our Nacerius snails, I believe. 5 of those. We're gonna dump this water out and add these dogs right into them. And then for our hammer coral, we're gonna dip that guy and put him right in this tank. We do have a 10-gallon that's set up. It's not fully cycled. I did throw a bunch of frags of Kenya tree in there. I hope they make it, but they may not. So just in case, oops, excuse me, they got a bunch of, I got a couple frags in here, so it'll be fine. Oh, shoot. Not cool, dude. Okay, so, whoops. There they are right here. We're going to go, flip these guys over. Whoops, sorry if you couldn't see, I'll cut that out. But here we go, we got them all flipped back over. And they're already digging in. Dig in, my friends, hide from those jerks that are called hermit crabs. So up in this one, this bag here, there we go, let me zoom in. Up in this bag here, we got our Trocus snails. So we had our 5 Nacerius snails and 3 Trocus snails. Right there. So I'm going to put these Trocus snails in. I'm going to put one over, I don't know, probably put one up on the rock or 1 or 2 on the rock, and then one I'll put up by the glass. These are the Nacerius snails are the sand sifters. They'll burrow into the sand, and when they kind of let this like snorkel thing come out, and when it's feeding time, they will actually, there's 2 right there. So we had 1 Trocus snail stuck to the shell of the other one. Oh yeah, anyways, what I was saying, the Nacerius snails, they bury themselves in the sand. Like, that one might have been kind of injured from falling on his little snoots coming out, but they just stick this little snoot up out of the sand, and then when it's feeding time, they just emerge like zombies or something out of the sand. Now this last Trocus snail, there we go, was not wanting to break free from the bag. But I think I'm going to put this one, I'm going to put him, let go, dude. That's my finger, thank you. I'm going to put you right there. So get to eating all this algae. So here we go, here's the tank. You can see the ugly phases, the uglies, the diatoms. They're in full swing right now. We got some algae and diatoms on the rock work, but not too terribly much. Terry, what up? Still kind of shy, but let's go ahead and let's feed the fish. We turn our wave makers on feed mode. So what I feed this tank is frozen brine shrimp, baby brine and mysis, along with Hikari dry foods. We feed marine S, crab cuisine, and this more than anything, the seaweed extreme. but mostly the brine shrimp. And they absolutely love the brine shrimp. Fish are looking healthy. And then what I do for Terry is every day I take a small piece of nori because it's just one little thing, a small piece of nori, and I kind of do the Vic from WWC Corals trick. I fold it up super tight, you know, fold it up super duper tight, and I clip it in my little clippy do. And he picks at that thing, and he picks at it, and it just gives him a chance to graze all day long. So tell me what you guys think. Are you into saltwater? Do you like freshwater? Now, I still love my cichlids. I still love my planted tanks. This is my first journey into saltwater / reef keeping. I haven't found it too terribly difficult, but challenges for me were my nutrient export. So at first, let me look at my book. At first, let me see. The first time I tested this tank, it was up and running for a few weeks already. Was, where's my sheet? Was, let's see here, 228. We had ammonia 0. We had nitrites at 20 parts, 0.20 parts. We had no nitrates, pH at 8, salinity at 1.025, 026, 34, 35 parts per thousand. The 15th, we finally tested for elk, 315. We still weren't fully cycled. We did have a kind of, we used our turbo start. We kind of did a kind of efficient cycle. So let's see here. By the end of March, our cycle was complete. We had nitrites at 20 parts per million and phosphates at 0.03. Elk at 8.6. And that was fairly decent numbers. Then we did a water change. Our nitrates were down to 15 parts per million, but for some reason my phosphates went up to 0.3. Then 5 days later, my phosphates went up to off the charts, pegging out the Hanna tester, over 0.9. Everything else was in good shape. At that point in time, I figured out I needed to either do some chemical filtration or some sort of protein skimmer. Well, this has kind of been a budget build. I have spent so few money on this. The most expensive things were the livestock by far. I got the tank for free. I resealed it. I bought, it's just a Title 110 and a couple cheap controllable power heads, a surface skimmer, and then I literally built out of stuff I found around the house this contraption here. That is my DIY protein skimmer. All I did to build that was purchase a wooden block, air block. I'll call it an air block, a wooden air block. This was a 2-pack. I think it was like $9 American on Amazon. I bought that. The rest of the stuff I had lying around the house. I have a central air system for the fish room right there. That clear tube was literally one of them pump style gravel vacs that broke like a year ago. I just saved the parts just cause. The reducer was the tip for that 1/2-inch ID line I just had lying around. And then this tube was the other part to that same gravel vac. Brain fart. So that I put up the 12th in between the 12th and the 18th is when I put that DIY protein skimmer in. On both the 12th, I had pegged out over 0.9 for my phosphates. Don't even know how high it was. The 18th, somewhere in between the 12th and the 18th, I installed that. The 18th, I still had phosphates pegged out. And now, my next water test was the 21st of April. So this is 3 days after the 18th. And I tested it. We had my elk. This was after a water change, and after that protein, my elk was at 9.0. Nothing for nitrates. Nitrates, 10, in between 10 and 15. It's hard for me to tell the color difference on that. Ammonia, 0. pH, 8.11. Salinity right there at 1.025, 1.026. Specific gravity. Temperature, 77.3. And my phosphates dropped significantly, all the way down to 0.3. That was, let's see, it's the 28th today, 27th today, so that was 6 days ago. Tomorrow I will be doing a water test Sunday, a water test either tomorrow or Sunday, and then we will be doing a water change and then another water test about 3 days after. So I do a water test, a water change, wait 2 to 3 days in a water test again, just because this is all new to me. So now let's talk about the frag I picked up. This is a 3-head, what do you call it? Yellow or golden torch or hammer, excuse me. Yellow hammer. So let me find my tub. And I will show you what I do. I take about a gallon of tank water, I put it in my little tub, and I add some Reef dip solution. I just happen to use Reef dip by Seachem, and we let it sit 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And that'll just help any pests. Not expecting any pests, but still. There can always be a surprise. We never know, right? That's why we dip all our corals. Now, if I would have ordered this from a long way in, if it wasn't overnight, I may not dip it. I might put it in like a bucket or something and let it sit. But so far, every coral I've put in, we have dipped. So first things first, I'm going to unplug the ATO. I'm going to get out my gallon of water. This is 6.5 quart, so we'll do about 2/3, 3/4. So okay, here's all my parts and pieces that I come up with. So in there is actually, I don't have a skimmer cup. I have the tube going right into this old gallon jug, and in a couple weeks that has been in, I probably have this much skim in there, and it is dark. So I guess it's working. So I use this. It's iodine-based coral dip, Reef dip by Seachem. And we just take a gallon of water and do 1 to 2 capfuls of this, 5 to 10 mLs. So I do 1.5 usually. Go right in the middle. And then we do a 15 to 30 minute dip. So let's see here. And sorry for the mess, guys. This is my fish basement. It is pretty much just full of fish stuff in my daughter's room. So here we go. Our 3-head. What I'm looking for is any obvious parasites, any big old flatworms. Not seeing any. Into the dip it goes. And then we'll start our timer and we'll come back here in a bit. you could kind of make out all the copepods swimming around. I tried to aim most of the copepods directly into the rockwork and into, oh yeah, we got some grassolar, red grassolaria, I believe it's called, macroalgae in here too. I'm really worried about my Duncan. I have no idea why it's not open. It's been doing very well the last few days, and yeah, that's got me kind of nervous. We're gonna come back. We're gonna let that other coral dip for a while. We got our two trochus snails. They seem to split off there. The other one's still here. A serious snail. We got one little snooter sticking out right there. The rest are completely sunk in now, which is so cool. Hopefully with our copepods, our sand sifting snails, our hermit crabs, our shrimpies, and our trochus snails, hopefully our ugly phase passes sooner than later. I'll bring you back and show you what that frag's looking like. I think I'm going to put that hammer over here on this frag rack. So main thing is when you put your copepods in, make sure you kind of shut your flow off for a while. Right now I have both my power heads unplugged and the filter off. I'm going to leave them off probably for a half hour, kind of give the copepods a chance to find a hiding spot, get into a little nook or a cranny somewhere, and that way they don't go for a ride or something like that. So here we go. We got, let me put this little filter on. It does a little better. It's still blue, but it does a little better. Our timer went off. Our hammer has been soaked. Our yellow hammer has been soaked for 15 minutes. It does look like it has some healthy meat bands underneath the heads. So yeah, looking at this coral now, excuse me, that one, it's kind of looking like that one's a torch, like a peach torch or something. So we're gonna put our hammer right next to it. Well, guys, if you made it this far, you guys are awesome. I love you. If you did make it this far, drop me a thumbs up or some in the comments. I'm just curious how many people even make it this far, if anybody, into this video. Let me know if you like saltwater tanks, if you like freshwater tanks, if you like turtles. Drop that down in the comments. Anything, really. If you enjoy any content like this, be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Ding that bell notification. That way, next time I do a video, which will be gluing all these frags into place, most likely. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to kind of let the flow be off for a little while longer in this tank. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. See ya!